So, 12th of May. What's happening on the 12th of May? Nothing? Well, 12th of May is supposedly, there's a day for everything, but it is Nurses' Day. Good time to be celebrating Nurses' Day. We should probably cover ourselves just in case we end up in their care, because our families aren't going to be able to be there if we're on the ward with COVID-19, and so the nurses are the only ones looking after us. I remember once, after I'd had a brain thing, sounds bad, doesn't it? Anyway, but it's true. I was in hospital. I was lying in this ward. They didn't know where to send me. It was like the overflow of A&E ward because they didn't know what to do with me. And I was in hospital as Donald Trump came to power. And I was feeling awful, and I was feeling really down. I'd collapsed in the middle of a big service, and it was all rah. Anyway, and in the midst of this, I'm like not sleeping. I've got a thing into my arm that's giving me IV or antibiotics or whatever. They thought I had meningitis, which I didn't, but anyway. So anyway, she comes over, she changes this thing for me. This amazing North African woman who, she didn't just change my cannula in less than 5 minutes. She didn't just reassure me in less than 5 minutes. She didn't just reassure me about American politics as well in that time. But she reminded me of my faith. She reminded me who I was, and she put me back on my feet. And she was supremely awesome. And I was so grateful for her and all that she did. But here's a little thought for you. What's your aspiration for your children? And what's your thinking about nurses? So, a couple of quick questions. If your child wanted to be a nurse, would you want a higher aspiration, or would you be okay with that? And when we think about nurses, bear with me, is there still some of that a nurse's uniform is sexy thing going on? It's just so demeaning. I had this really amusing moment when I started at college. It's a bit harsh, but hey, this lad, and you know, it's the first days and boys and girls noticing each other, and he's a good looking lad, and this girl kind of talking to him, she said, I used to be a nurse before I came to this college. And you could see kind of, do you think that's sexy, nursing? And he was like, my mum was a nurse. She used to come home covered in other people's blood and guts and crap. And no, I don't think so. And it was, I just thought it was great. But it was one of those moments when I was just like, here's the picture that somehow we've been given, this false picture of like, this uniform is about, you know, naughty nurses and women only, and it's just a sexualized image of women. And actually, these are the people who deal with us in our moments of greatest need. How do we value people? How do we take that, you know, beyond nursing? Who do you value and why? So something that needs to be messed with there. Who gets the high value and why? Who gets the high pay and why? What do you want to be? What do you want your kids, if you ever have any, or if you have them, to be? What do you think is worthwhile doing? Maybe worth a conversation. But hey, up the nurses.